Lost day ones, just imagine that. Wait. Lost day ones, just imagine that. Feeling like it's all on me. As soon as they fall, they gon' call on me. I remember when they used to talk about me. Guys, ladies. Looking at us. Man, y'all take care of y'all's people, man, for real. Take care of your people. Man, if you're on the outs with somebody that you love, man, get back right with it, man. Fix it. Fix it. Speed trap right here, evidently. Well, man, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Man, I tell you what, there's a lot of people there. It's probably way more than I felt comfortable with. I'll tell you that much right now. It was a whole lot of people there. Tell you what, man, spend a day away. You're not worried about no Molly Go Lightly or no Bullhorn Betty, any of that other bullshit. Man, it's a whole real world out here, man. Real shit happening. Man. Had a wonderful little lesson today about expectations, and I've been thinking about that the whole time, you know. Like, I saw everybody also going through their expectations, you know. And I tell you what, oh shit, it sure is fucked up how some of these people believe this shit. like, most of them people didn't know what the fuck my sister had going on. And so they have all these great memories. And I think that that's the way it's supposed to be for some people. Man, I don't know why I don't know why I couldn't get the same thing. But there's a whole lot of people there don't even understand what the fuck even happened, what was happening. Man, really just put a lot of different shit, into a perspective that fucking makes sense. You're like, man, damn. And I say grab a hold to your people, but man, I got a brother I haven't talked to in like 2 years. He was there, didn't even make eye contact with him, not one time. Fucking shame. Fucking shame. That's also how it is, right? Shit, smoking if he got him, look at that. My niece, man, I seen a soldier today, bro. Like, I'm trying to sit there and kind of try to figure out, what I'm saying, how my niece could be so cool and calm and collected. I mean, I was too. I seen it different than everybody else, though, right? But my niece was just, she was just strong, right? I'll tell you a fun fact. I don't know if anybody's ever touched your loved one's ashes. Strange phenomenon. I touched my sister's, with my hand. We put it on a tree in a little prayer garden in my brother's house. And when, like, my brother had put some of the ashes underneath the tree, and I spread them out with my hand, like, and my hand, I had the dust from her ashes in my hand. And when I went to wash my hand was like, I already had soap on it. I was like, whoa. It was strange. It was like my hand was already greasy. And I'm guessing that's the fats and all the other things in the ashes. But I was like, that is strange. It was almost like it was soap, almost. Shit was weird, but my sister, she only had one kid, my niece. She had my niece when she was 16. So we all kind of raised up my niece, but really is a testament to resilience to see all the people there that did know what she had been going through. And they still, able to have a good day in spite of it all, And man, I'm still a little bit jaded. Fucking A, man, got too close to the victim again looking ass, didn't he? That's what Benny did. I think it was gonna be impossible. Man, shit. I blame my damn sister if I had to blame somebody. It's her damn fault. It's her damn fault. Well, the COVID too. Man, I didn't have no time for no YouTube before COVID. Fucking COVID completely rearranged life as we know it. I remember my wife 2 years ago, she was like, babe, what are you gonna do? Like, we're in the house for the next, and we thought it was only gonna be like 30 days, and she's like, what are you gonna do, babe? And I was like, damn, babe, I don't know. Fuck. I woke up the next morning after she asked me and saw these 2 little boys missing in Cal City, and it was fucking over. It was over. Over. I was like, this is it right here. Boy, don't you know my wife? My beautiful wife, she was behind me the whole way. Right up until that first CPS came. When that first CPS came, for her, she was through. Me, I was just getting started. Now I had something to prove. I don't got nothing to prove no more. I got nothing to prove. Well, I had something to prove. That day came and gone. Came and left. Came and went. So now it's like, man, what's the next play? Right? What's the next push? What do we got to get into next? You know? This started to look more and more like Tennessee time, man. Started to look more and more like Tennessee time. Wednesday I go for the clinic for my head. I go Wednesday and we figure out once and for all, we gonna do the surgery or not. Got a lot of shit going on, man. Got a lot of shit going on. You know, it's a strange situation because, you know, my sister, she was a lesbian. And she was single for like 10 or 12 years after her divorce and from a man, and I think it was just that ugly. And she, you know, I don't want to say that that's why women become lesbians, but for my sister it was kind of like dude fucked her over, had been fucking her over like since they first got married, and she didn't know or whatever. And so she clammed up, right? She clammed up. She wasn't dealing with no men, no women, no nothing. And she just worked, had her dogs, and then I'll tell you what, it was like, it's just about to a family function. And she was very eager to talk about this new girl she met. And of course, you know, for that 10 or 12 year run when she wasn't with nobody, you know, all the time we're like, Lacey, man, you gotta find you a dude. She's like, no, fuck dudes. And I'm like, well, then you gotta find you a chick. And she's like, nope, I'm good just the way I am. And I'm like, all right, man, fuck it, because you know, there would be times when we're all together as a family, but then you've got got your intermediate families in there, you know, and your loved ones and your boyfriends and your girlfriends, and you always got somebody to hug on or kiss on. And, you know, and here's my sister, she don't have that, you know. And so she met this gal, and this gal was just leaving a relationship with another gal. And this new gal, she was a drinker. And my sister was, I mean, you might say that it was like her secondary virginity, right? Like, she met this girl, and this girl was, man, this girl's got a drinking problem. Just say what it is, man. The girl has a drinking problem, man, and she's got diabetes, man. Make that make sense, right? And so my sister hooks to all that, and, you know, they immediately started having, you know, well, they didn't immediately start having problems, but my sister would come around, and when she would come around, she was always aimed at having a drink and shit. And then, you know, in the early beginning stages of their relationship, my sister would, you know, talk about, you know, kind of like war stories, talk about, oh, I got fucked up last night. And we're like, well, you know, you sound like you're having fun, you know. And it was just like, I don't want to say, I would never want to say for a minute that I encouraged it, but I encouraged it because she seemed happy. And then the fucking, the screaming and the punching and all the other shit came after that, you know, probably like a year later. They start with that crazy shit. Well, then, my sister and this girl, man, they stopped dating, and my sister meets a new chick, and this new chick, like, legit, the chick is built like, I mean, she looks like Justin Timberlake, but with boobs. And like, I like looked at the girl today. Was the first time I ever really met her in real life, other than just heard these terrible things about how her and my sister used to beat each other up and shit. And I just, some kind of way that shit was kept kind of from me, because I think they probably know I would have went over there and, you know, made it to where that wasn't going to happen no more. And so my sister then, when her and this chick is like, the new chick was like 21, 22. Like, my sister is 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, old enough to be her mom and shit. And this chick is a real partier and sniffs some blow, smokes some weed. You know what I'm saying? Drink some liquor. All of this while she's on probation and got a little machine on her car she has to blow into. And the broad, she knows how much she can drink to where she could still drink and keep her tremors and all that shit down, but still be able to blow on the machine when it asks her to blow. So when my cut up, man, next thing you know, my sister is back with her age, the first chick. Then they would get to cutting up, and the next thing you know, my sister's back with the young one. And then it's like, man, like the shit just kept going back and forth until like the last 8 or 10 months. The last 8 or 10 months, like, she couldn't do anything. She was going to the ER sometimes 2-3 times a week. A week in the ambulance. Like, drink herself to a situationship where when you get over there and you put your eyes on her behavior is like she's just drinked herself past inebriation. And I believe that sometimes there was you know, there was some street drugs on board. You know, I get over there and she'd be out her fucking mind, couldn't even talk. She sounded like she was like a bumbling toddler, and I'm like, and she, you know, man, there's times I picked that woman up out her fucking house and carried that bitch to the fucking ambulance, man. Well, see, the thing is if I step back and go back, like when she was younger, she was a power lifter. She had hurt herself lifting all them weights and shit. Then she got on them pills. And then she was on them pills and she was fucking up on them pills for about 4 or 5 years. Well, when she decided that she didn't want to do the pills anymore, of course, for the opioids, it's really easy. You know, you can just take a thing called Suboxone. It's just a little clear melt-away thing. It looks like a Lysol breath tab, you know, and you just put it under your tongue and then you're good, you know. And holy shit, man. Like she whipped it. But she was on the Suboxone for quite a long, you know, 10, 15 years probably, like, and so she always had that Suboxone. Like, she was always scared to come off the last little bit of Suboxone she was taking. And then the very first time she went to rehab for the drinking, they were able to get her off of the Suboxone. But she left the rehab, you know, before it was time for her to go. She went back to the drinking immediately, but had essentially whipped the tail end of the Suboxone and the opioid shit. And man, it got to the fucking point. She'll go to a rehab and then she would fuck around and she would leave the motherfucker a few days in. She would get an Uber, and I tell you what, these dumb motherfucking Ubers pick her up at a motherfucking rehab and take her straight to a liquor store and not tell her no. And then take her home after that. Man, ain't shit about any of that. Does that look like help? No. Look at ass. And then it got to the point where, you know, when her mom died, that's when the drinking really, really, really picked up. And when the drinking picked up, it got to a point where I guess it was so fucking miserable, she didn't want to stop. She'll go to the fucking hospital. Spend all fucking night at the hospital. They cut her loose in the morning. She's going right back to drink. Right back to drink. I mean, no second thought about it. Like, just completely continued to make the kind of you know, decisions for herself that led her back to the scenarios of drinking every single time. She would call me, and then it got to, like, when her situationship got so bad, like, in the beginning, she was embarrassed to call me, but it was at the point where the drunk calling was starting. And everybody's like, oh man, hell, you haven't got any calls from your sister yet? I'm like, no. Why? And they're like, oh yeah, man, wait till you start getting them. Well, she wouldn't call me like that because she knew that I was gonna set her straight. And eventually she started calling me. And she would call me, and it was always, you know, it was always during the time while I was sleeping. But I would, you know, make that time to entertain her a little bit, you know. And hold on one second. There. She started calling me and shit. And I entertained her for a little while because I'm her little brother, and I felt like I had to. But then, of course, the alcoholic in her, the toxic.
In 1.7 miles,
take exit 30 onto President George Bush Turnpike South toward Las Colinas Boulevard.
You know, started to ramp up and do more and more and more until, like, she would just be calling me in the middle of the night, wanting me to listen to music with her while she's drunk. And so I finally was like, Lacey, look, man, I love you like a fat kid loves cake. But let me tell you what, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do for you when you drink like this, right? Like, this is when you still think you can walk back, when you can walk them back. You're like, oh man, I just need to give her a stiff, a stiff what's for, like, look here, motherfucker, you are fucking up. Quit this shit. Man, and then, you know what? Then I wouldn't hear from her for a little bit, and I was always scared to reach out to her thinking, man, shit, if she's sober, I don't want to be the thing that, I don't know, that sets her back off or something. I don't know. But if she's not, I don't want to invite her back.
take exit 30 onto
President George Bush Turnpike South toward Las Colinas Boulevard.
I don't want to invite her back to call me drunk like that, because I always tell her she always wants all this help while she's fucking drunk.
use the right 2 lanes.
To keep right toward Las Colinas Boulevard.
Always want all the fucking help while she's drunk. And then when she fucking wakes up, guess what? She don't want
Keep
that
right.
anymore. She only wants the help when she's drunk and fucking miserable. And then you know, like nights that I would turn my phone off or it would die, she would try calling, and then because she couldn't get through, it was always, oh, you fucking blocked me, huh? And then, you wake up to fucking 30 nasty fucking text messages about why you blocked her and you didn't. The phone was just off. So then you call her back because you just know that this kind of behavior that you're seeing on the text, something bad had to have happened. And of course she won't answer you because she's not drunk anymore. She doesn't need help. She only needs it when her breath smells like whiskey. And I would tell her, I said, sister, the time for you to call me is before you put the whiskey to your lips. That's the time to call me and ask me to help walk you through anything, whatever. But it just never could be like that. Could never be like that. And the really frustrating part for me was because I've seen the hard knock. I've seen what the AA book labels as the unfortunates. I've seen them. And my sister started making these checkpoints, the same checkpoints. And
At the next light, turn left.
She was never late for a checkpoint. She hit them checkpoints in an alcoholic's demise on time, every time. And I started pointing out to my mom mostly because
At the light, use
The middle 2 lanes to turn left onto North MacArthur Boulevard.
I didn't want to bring my dad through that. Right? Like, of course, quite naturally, he knew what was going on, but he, the really ugly, dreary part, I, did my best to try to keep that away from him. But you just couldn't. It just saturated everything and all things. And she used to use my sobriety against me. Like, she would get fucked up and she would always say how I was the golden child, how I was able to do this, and Ben was able to do that, and like people come around and they're like, oh, how's Ben? And she she wanted it to be about her and her stuff, and I get that. I totally get it. And so I think that was part of the problem was that she knew way before any of us knew that this was going to be a thing that she wasn't going to be able to whip. Clearly, here we are today. Spread her fucking ashes in the mud underneath the fucking pine tree. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, where the fuck? Like, oh shit. Like, how the fuck does that happen?
Stay in the right 3 lanes.
You know what I mean? Like, literally. Fucking 6 weeks ago, I was just
In 1.1 miles.
Turn left onto West SH 114.
get her fucking shit straight. Now, today, me and my brothers are fucking sprinkling her under a fucking pine tree? Oh, shit. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. No. It's a hopeless situation. It's a enter in, lose situation. She knew way before any of us, but I was the second one to know. She started meeting these checkpoints on time, and I looked at my mom and I said, this is gonna end like it ends for other families, but it's gonna be our family this time. And my mom, she couldn't see it. Of course, my dad, I never would want him, you know, I don't know, right? My mom was fully aware that I was correct about how she was progressing through her disease. The issue was how to get my dad to understand that his only daughter is gonna fucking die a nasty fucking death because she can't whip it. Because for whatever reason, there was not that switch in my sister.
In 1 mile,
You know what?
turn left onto West SH 114.
Enough is enough. That's it. I'm done. Right? Looking ass. Like, never had one DUI, never had one wreck. Like, was just it was just that fortunate. Her situation went through that fortunate that it never saw the light of day of unfortunate. We all prayed. We all prayed for a DUI that was just her, nobody get hurt. We prayed. Fuck around and find out she's over there at the house drinking and she's talking about wanting to go and get another bottle of fucking whiskey, and somebody's gonna drive over to her house and block her fucking car in so she can't drive. Because she man, try to take them keys from that girl if you want to, looking ass. Shit, you ain't taking shit from her. My sister wasn't no punk. Man, and then you go through all of that and
Go past this light.
Then at the next one, turn left.
you know, at the end though, she had many people fooled. She had many people fooled into thinking that she was sober. And the problem was the girl, the first
At the light, turn
Left onto West
the
SH
first chick she
114.
got with after being single all that time, at the end, was helping my sister hide the fact that she was drinking, right? Assisted her in helping. Let me tell you what, the day my sister died, I had to call her boss. And I had to tell her boss that she had died. He felt responsible because he had fired her the night before. She had been lying to him for months, saying that the reason why she had to go out to her car was
use the left 2 lanes.
To keep left onto West John Carpenter Freeway.
to give herself insulin shots for diabetes. My sister never had diabetes ever, not one day in her whole fucking life. But it had gotten to the point
Keep left.
she needed to get to the car badly enough during her shift. She gave herself diabetes. Can you imagine?
Use the left lane to keep
Left to merge onto State Highway 114 East.
Holy shit. Man.
keep left.
He fired her for drinking on the job. She fucking goes home and fucking puts an end to it.
In 2.9 miles.
Take the exit to merge onto State Highway 12 Loop South.
And so when I call the man, I'm like, bro, man, my sister ain't gonna be to work tonight. He's like, oh, what's up? Well, it's kind of like, what's up? He was like, so I guess, do you know she was terminated from here? And I had the man on speaker, and my mom was sitting right there. And he said, yeah, she had got terminated last night for drinking on the job. And I looked at my mom and I was like, damn. Like, we were
In 2 miles.
Take the exit to merge onto State Highway 12 Loop South.
you know, we were hoping at that point that it wasn't what we thought it was. Right? We were trying to find any situation to try to make it where you're like, no, it wasn't that. Couldn't have been. And then you hear that she lost her job. It's right before Christmas. Mortgage is due. Money's fucked up. Just bought a new car. Can't make the payment on that. Like it was, you know, it was the end. My sister, she did high-end waitressing in downtown Dallas. She make, some nights make $400, $500, $600 a night. And she got so bad to the end where she had been kicked out of all the big name steakhouses in Dallas, and, you know, was kind of at the last, you know, the last house on the block in terms of high-end serving to make that kind of money. And
Continue straight.
Then use the right lane to take the exit to merge onto State Highway 12 Loop South.
you know, when she lost that, you know, it's always about her mom, you know, like always about her mom. And I'm like, listen, Lacey, man, I understand, sweetheart. Like, I understand.
Use the right lane to take
The exit to merge onto State Highway 12 Loop South.
I understand how upset you are about the death of your mom, sweetheart. I get it. But, like, it was, you know, at that point, I'm like, you're going to end up drinking yourself to death. And she's like, well, I just don't even care. And you're like, fuck, well, what do you do when you're standing in the presence of not caring? Like, what the fuck can you say to somebody early on? And you're like, you just dismiss it like, girl, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, girl, shut your mouth, girl. Man, shit. And my sister she's supermodel beautiful. Tattoo sleeves, you know, like.
in 7.8 miles.
Miles. Continue onto State Highway 408 Spur South toward
Could have had
I-20.
any man or any woman she ever wanted, but she always seemed like, I don't know. Like, I think she knew she could have any person on the earth, whether it be a man or a woman, and it was just, when she was young, she would really pick these sort of men of finance and, you know, a little more sophistication. As she got into her late 20s and early 30s, she sort of made a turn towards, you know, guys that were musicians. She liked musicians. She liked short little white boys that knew how to play the guitar. That's what she liked. And so she kind of went through that stage of messing with a couple musicians and this and that. And, you know, it's like a very hard situation to try to even dictate, because she was single with her dogs for so long. And we're like, look, man, look, I used to make jokes. I was like, man, look here, man, you don't hurry up and use that thing, it's gonna heal up. You know, like I just trying to, man, we all would, you know, all of us, you know, like I would tell her stuff. I like, man, you go another year and I'm gonna have to take you out to the country line dance and have you pick me out a cowboy, and I'm gonna thump him on the head and put him in the car for you. You know, like we were all trying to push her towards enriching her life with by sharing, you know, her life with a partner, a mate. And, you know, all those 12 or 10, 12, 15 years, whatever that was, that whole time, she, you know, we would push her, and she'd say, no, I don't feel like I can handle it. I'm just, you know, I'm not ready. And you're like, yeah, no, yeah, I understand. But like, you know, you can just, you know, have you a friend or something, you know, and she wouldn't even do that. Like, she was all the way celibate. And I don't know what changed. You know, her mom was still alive. I mean, my mom's so blessed, she's got two moms. My mom and her mom when her mom was alive. And I don't know, she had a beautiful little house that my folks helped her finance, and, you know, man, I just remember 6 weeks ago, man, like, man, what the fuck you doing calling me at 4 a.m. with this bullshit, man? Like, quit this shit. But she quit that shit, man. She quit it. She quit it fucking quickly. No interruption. But yet still, you stand around that circle looking at all them fucking people, you're looking at the fucking tree with the fucking ashes around it, you're like, man, hold up. All of y'all just think this shit happened on one day. Like, it wasn't a fucking war every day with this woman for the better part of 4 or 5 years trying to get her off of this booze, man. I mean, her two mates, she definitely knew how to pick them. One that's an alcoholic and a diabetic, and one that's fucking alcoholic and got a fucking machine on her car she's got to blow into, so she measures her alcohol and shit. Like, she went from no love to, I don't even know what you call that shit. I don't know what you call that shit. I'll tell you this, and I swear that I hate the fact that Molly Golightly could have any space in my head right now, but it wasn't even bad. Like, I found myself, there was actually a dude there at, my sister was, you know, she partied in the gay community, so she had a lot of her gay and lesbian friends there, and, you know, friends from work and things, and there was a man there, and I don't know if he was gay or what he was. I didn't even talk.
In 2 miles, continue on to
State Highway 408 square
But-
south toward I-20.
He looked like what he looked like. He looked like what I imagined Prince. Looking at him, and I was just thinking, I was like, man. I've never thought about Princess in my whole life. But it was a time in my own situationship where I felt like God, for whatever reason, he pushed the idea of Princess into the forefront of my mind, and he was like, you know, now wrestle with that a little bit and see how it makes you feel, and what kind of, you know, what kind of info you can get back out of that, right? And man, like, what I got out of it is, man, pray for Princess. Like, we've all been kind of watching, some of us maybe, I don't know, I've seen a little bit of it, of the situation going on in that man's life right now. And I tell you what, man, if he doesn't get himself some real help, it's gonna be a sad day for Molly here, right? And that's just, I don't wish that on Molly. I don't wish her friend die from his disease in her house. I don't wish that for her. I don't want that for Molly. Molly, I don't want that for you. I do not want that for you. That's one of those things, you know, shit, man. Will I ever get over seeing my sister wheeled out on the cart? Man, hell no, Molly. Seriously, Molly. Like, do everything you can to protect that man, you know? And you got to know that, you know, even the kind of trickle-down stress, you know, of your life and your mechanisms coupled with his own life and his own mechanisms is going to make it very hard for Princess to overcome this, you know. And so I do want to ask that everyone say a prayer for Princess too, because he is suffering in the worst way, and I don't wish suffering of any kind on anyone, no one. But it always seems to come back to addiction, doesn't it? I don't know why. Like, it's such a short cycle. It's like so many things that a lot of us are immersed in right now. Man, this addiction is just ravaging shit. It is fucking ravaging shit. Man. My sister, she used to like to wear that patchouli oil. Man, I hated that shit. Or not patchouli. One of them other ones. But my sister, ever since we were adults, she would use this oil. And so it's like every time you would walk in to mom and dad's house, if Lacey was already there, you would smell the oil. And you're always like, ugh, Lacey's here. Not like, your sister, but like, I'm just not a fan of whatever that oil might have been, patchouli, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it. It just was very overcoming to me, overwhelming. So she, you know, my mom has been emptying her house, and you know, a lot of it's clothes and different things, but my mom, she brought home my sister's what is it called? It's a doggy stroller, and it's got a cover on it, and the cover had the oil on it. And so when I walked in the house, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I walked in the house and I immediately started looking for my sister. I was like, Lacey's here. And then I was like, oh no, Lacey's not here. And you're like, damn, that's fucked up. It just is like that real, right? It's like you completely forgot that she just fell victim to all that shit. You're like, man, is this like, it is for real. It's so very for real. Oh man, it's very for real. It's very for real. Man, if you know somebody that's suffering from addiction, man, you gotta pick a way. You gotta pick a way. Because let me tell you what, the early knowledge of knowing that I could not help my sister, and I was able to equip my mother with that same knowledge. And I said, listen, man, listen, Mom, I can see it. Like legitimately, I can definitely see what's gonna happen. And even being able to see it forward, still couldn't, like that. I was trying to convince my mom. I was like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen. I said, really, this is it's a blessing. And I tried to convince my mom that, knowing that she was gonna do this to herself, that it was a blessing, essentially grieving her while she was still alive. But I tell you what, it didn't work. I mean, in theory, it worked a little bit, but you get to that point, like before she dies, you're hearing that she's got the same behavior going on in her life, and you're like, man, I hate that for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really all I could give to the situation was like, man, I hate to hear that it's still that way, and she knew the rule. I'm like, don't call me no more with that fucking whiskey on your breath, bro. Don't fucking call me when you're drunk. I don't want to block you, but don't call me when you're on that shit. So then she dies. She fucking kills herself. Then what? Right? Man, you spent all that time trying to grieve that shit before that woman died, and then she fucked around and died, and then you got to go all through that shit again, man. So in my, in my opinion, that shit don't work. I know it works for women, like my wife looking ass. Women get over relationships while they're in them. And then it's always a surprise to the man at the end. Even if they can see what's happening, men still can't bring themselves to believe it, right? And then when a woman is done, like she's just done. And a man is still trying to, finagle his way back into her heart. And meanwhile, it's making the woman look, super duper cold-blooded, because she can't go back on what her heart has already told her to do. And so I tried to take, I thought that would be a good technique. Like, yeah, like she's about to fuck herself up. Let's just start distancing ourselves and, kind of trying to tell everybody else that this is probably gonna turn out shitty. Man, that shit only works good for my wife. I can't do it. Here I am going through the shit all over again, bro. And it seems like everybody else, they're only gonna go through it once. Shit. Then it makes you feel like, man, in all the motherfucking me time, I could see this shit. Why the fuck did I have to be the one to see it? Why couldn't I just go through the shit one time like everybody else? Make no sense, man. Don't make no fucking sense. That's where them women got us beat up, gentlemen. A woman will fuck around and quit your ass 6 years before she quits your ass. And then you get to the end and she walked out and she don't look back. Man, you know what? It's one thing when a woman will leave a man over another man, but it's a whole nother thing when a woman just wants to leave a man because she just wants to be alone. Oh shit. That's stiff game. That's stiff game. And that's real life. Y'all ladies listening, you know I'm telling the truth. We can't do that shit. Men can't do that. Women can. It's a phenomenon. And I hate really when you think about it, like when you think about a woman's ability to stay with a man even after she knows she's not in love with him. Like, man, look, I'm kind of sensitive with my sex game too, man. I'm not just gonna lay down with anybody. Like, and if I don't feel that thing, I don't feel that thing between us. Like, I'm not just about to lay down with somebody just to lay down with them. Not to say I haven't, but I mean, and a woman is strong enough to stay with a man that she don't love no more and continue to, you see what I'm saying, right? Like, man, men can't do that shit. As soon as a man feels like he's having sex with somebody he really don't want to have sex with, man, he's screaming rape, right? Like, a woman can be oppressed and go through like, I'm seeing it today. Like, I just get to another point in my emotion and then I delve a little bit deeper and then I'm looking at all the sides and I'm like, man, damn. I couldn't imagine. I remember walking out of relationships where I didn't want to have sex with these women no more. I can't imagine a woman that will hang around. Like, it says a lot about a woman's fortitude, right? Like, a woman is, you know, once a woman has her mind made up, you're not gonna tell her too much of nothing. And there I went thinking I was equipped. I was equipped and qualified to start getting over my sister before she had ever left. It was impossible. I thought I did it, in fact. I thought I had done it. But then you fall on this real greasy ass time, man, where it's like, you know, so many people over the past year have been saying, Benny, karma's gonna get you. Karma's gonna get you. Got me. It's fucking got me. It is fucking running. It is running maneuvers on my neck as we speak. My wife, my son, my sister, you know, like, man, it caught up, man, and I'm not quitting. I'm not bitching either. I ain't bitching about shit. I ain't bitching about shit, man. Thank you, Pendart. No, it's probably not even over yet. You damn right. This ain't the problem. This will just do till the real problem gets here. Man. You know what, but man, I'll be honest with you, man. I kind of lived in this grown man fairy tale today. Like, I felt like how I think most women feel, but I don't know how much women even feel this way. But it was like, I kept thinking, like, I kept feeling like at any moment my wife was gonna pull up and she was gonna jump out and like run over to me and, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, it's some kind of fucking crazy thing about today. Like, that's what I'm saying with the expectations, man. Like I had some very unworldly expectations today. And, you know, I don't know. Is that making you worse for the wear or better? Shit, I don't know. Fuck, man. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. It's like, man, I must have been really fucking up for her to even fall out of love with my sister. Man, I don't even understand that. But it is what it is. I don't know, man. It happened so quick. So quick looking ass. Here I am, 42. Lost my athleticism about 10 years ago looking ass. Oh, man. I can't even imagine trying to date. I mean, I want to try to imagine, but I just can't even imagine like all those things that you don't do when you're with somebody else. Like, you don't fart, poop in the house until after they leave. Like all that really cool stuff. Like, man, I'm 42, man. I got a bad stomach as it is, man. I can't be like, I got to find a woman that right off the jump, she got to be really beautiful inside and out, but I got to say, hey, man, because if you don't poop, man, this ain't going to work. I can't be 42 trying to hold my poop because it's a woman around me that I don't want her to know I poop. I'm like, man, all that weird ass shit. Hey, what up? Hola, perito. Like I want, man, and this is the thing, man. I want like the love of my life. Don't I deserve it? Shit. Like I thought my wife was the love of my life. I waited till I was fucking 40 years old to get married. Shit. Damn. But I guess it wasn't. I guess it wasn't. So then you waste all the time and energy and resource, like, man. Makes you think that you should have tried getting married at least one other time before now. After 40, poops are cool. I don't know, man. You want to know what, man? Yes. He still hasn't heard you fart? Oh, Penny. See, that's real love right there. You got married one time? She's out there, Benny. She'll find you. Yeah, I hope so. Seasons, I love you. I want to live a little bit, but I don't feel like I deserve it. Right? Like, like I want that person, man, that that person, man, that one. I get it, I get a lot of emails and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe travel some and clear your mind a little. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm in the prime of my life, and I feel like, my wife she's younger than me. And, like I felt like I was hamstrung a little bit by COVID. right? I was hamstrung by COVID, right? Like more than anything, my wife in my relationship was, meeting at nighttime, and we enjoyed our time together. But it was like as soon as it was every single day together, 2 years later, like it wore off, and I don't know. I have a hard time understanding how it just kind of wore off, but it did. I don't think that. I don't know. I want to say I don't think that YouTube played as big a part as I think it did, but it probably did. You're right, Mark. You're right. You're right. Yeah, but it is heavy. I love you, Seasons. Yeah, man. I want to fix. I want to fix her. But I don't think two fixers can be together. Because I definitely believe I can save everyone. I mean, for sure. Been married almost 17 years. We almost divorced in 2015, but we got back together. If it's meant to be, it will be. Yeah, we forget to feed our love and we fall apart. Thank you, Candy. We'll see. Fizzle. Thank you, Peppus. I don't know, it seems like a very funny time, and I kind of feel a little bit selfish for even thinking about that today, but it's kind of today is the kind of day where I think it just provides you a microscope just to do insight. Just figure it out, So I'm gonna go ahead and catch me a little rest. I want to thank all of you so much for your support today and every day before today. And thank you for Flexion, yes. Thank you for being here for me. Right? Like, yeah. Just being here for me. You guys, you ladies are so awesome. I love you guys. Coffee tomorrow? Coffee, everyone? We'll do 6:37 a.m. Yes, promise. All right. Panel at 10 a.m. That's right. So, that's going to be a good one, I assure you. 10 a.m., be 9 my time. Be at True Crime Commentary with me and Fizzle, and we grow sis, and a special guest, a very special guest. Yeah, it's going to be all right. I love you. I love you all. I love you. See you tomorrow.